Hey everybody, Steve Olson with the Peak Group. There's a question that I get a lot, and oftentimes when questions come in, somebody might not understand all the implications of the question, and you have to unpack everything that went into it. And one of these questions is just like, should I be investing in real estate? And I think to answer that question, I think, yeah, of course, that's a little bit self-serving, but what does it mean to invest in real estate? Because there are a few different ways to do it. I wanted to highlight a few today. It's probably not all of them, but I think they are the main ones when we talk about investing in real estate. And there's been a big movement to make investing in real estate more like the stock market, right? That's easy to do. You get a brokerage account with Fidelity, you get a financial advisor, right? You transfer money and they make the investments for you, or you can do it yourself. And the real estate equivalent to that is by investing in a REIT, a real estate investment trust. We used to have a real estate investment trust arm at the Peak Group. And so this is you're buying shares of a big managed pool of hundreds or thousands of different assets, and the value goes up and down. It's like a stock. You can typically get in and out, and it's a fairly liquid market. And I think that's the main advantage to it, is the liquidity and being able to participate over a broad spectrum of assets. That's an advantage. The disadvantage, you have absolutely zero control. You are turning the reins over to a bunch of suits on Wall Street or somewhere else that are going to do all this work, and they may or may not do it in a good way. We don't know. And some of these have made tremendous amounts of money, and some can lose money because they were not structured properly, or the market, just didn't do what it was supposed to do according to their plans. So that's the liquid way, the quick way. You could go out and invest in real estate in the next 10 minutes if you wanted to, kind of comparing it to a stock market style investment. That's one way. The next way is to invest in what's called a syndication. And this is a private investment. I'm an investor in a couple of these. I also lead a couple of these. And this is where a group of private individuals gets together and they say, we want to go buy that warehouse. We want to go buy that apartment building. We're going to pool our money together. And pooling funds can be a dirty word, but there's a lot of legal work that goes into this. And there's typically what's called a general partner. They run the show. They're the sponsor of this. They orchestrate all of it. And then they do a bunch of legal documents, something called a PPM, a private placement memorandum. And they issue that to the investors, who are referred typically to as the limited partners. And they buy shares of this company that goes and develops that warehouse or remodels that apartment building or buys that block of 50 homes, whatever it may be. And so this is a much more narrow focus in most cases, although there are syndications that buy a big group of assets, kind of like a REIT, but they're not going to have nearly as many investors as a REIT would. So advantage is just a little more focused. If the asset does really well, you're going to do really well. But it's kind of the same disadvantage. You give up some control. I'm in real estate every day, dealing with, the operational problems and all the headaches that can come with it. And I know how to deal with those things, but sometimes I just want somebody else to do it. And that's the allure of being a limited partner in somebody else's project, was that you take it, you go, I trust you. I don't get to liquidate that when I want to. Many times there are provisions where they give me a 30, 60, or 90-day window or longer, where they say, if you want your money back, we'll get your money back, but we need some time to do it. It's not like a REIT where you click sell. Sometimes that's a blessing and a curse, right? If you can't get your money out. Sometimes it's a blessing because it makes you think. It makes you have to wait a little longer, and you can't just sell in a panic in the middle of the night when you're worried about money. So that's another way, is to become a limited partner in what we call a syndication. Another way is to actually be a developer, right? You're going to be the one to go out and buy the land and work with the architects and the city, or to do this project, and you're going to develop it and make it happen. I would argue to some degree, you're actually not an investor when you do that. You've got a job. I've developed properties before, and I don't just park some money in something because I think it's going to do well. I have a job. I have a lot of things I have to do, and all the success begins and ends with me. So, it's kind of like you're investing, but being a developer is a job, and sometimes it's a very good job, very well paying. Other times you wonder, why did I do this? I've got one of those right now. So that's another way to invest into real estate, is to be a developer. Another way is kind of indirectly is to be a lender. You like real estate as collateral, right? You like that house, you like that building. These developers, these builders, all these different kind of companies and individuals, they need funds. And a lot of times getting those funds from a bank, although it is oftentimes the cheapest, not so much lately, but oftentimes it's the cheapest source of money, it's a pain. I'm dealing with a bank right now on a refinance, and they are asking me the stupidest questions, right? You think that, oh, banks, they're smart, they know what they're doing. Yeah, not so much. So banks are tough, and a lot of times builders and developers are looking for the faster money that is going to let them do their thing, and they're willing to pay a premium for it. Sometimes you call that hard money, and you can invest that type of money and basically earn a rate of interest on your capital. That's another way to invest in real estate. And some people push it even further and would call it loan to own. They're making loans, and they really hope that the developer goes belly up because they want to be able to swoop in and take that property and finish it off themselves. Vultures kind of, but sometimes it makes sense. And finally, this is what we specialize in here at the Peak Group, is direct ownership of real estate, fee simple ownership. If you're a physician in California, right, or if you're a tech worker on the East Coast or something like that, and you're wanting to have all of the upside, you're going to go buy that house. You're going to go buy that fourplex or that apartment building. If you bring in partners to do it, you've kind of wandered off into the developer or the syndication lane. If it's just you own fee simple real estate, you own it, you control it, right? All the rewards, all the spoils of war go to you. All the downsides go to you. So you have to be confident in what you're doing. You have to have a little bit of extra time. The idea is here at the Peak Group is that we take most of that off your shoulders, where you can buy properties that are brand new and have tenants in place, so that this becomes kind of a 10 minutes a month type of a deal as an investment, where you get your statements from our management team. Bryce does a great job at that. And you just look and see, okay, I brought in $2,000 worth of rent. I had to make a $78 repair, and so my management expenses were X. My total positive cash flow was Y. Did that hit my bank account? Great. And that was your work for the month. And we're sitting here in January of 25 right now. The work will be a little bit more over the next month as you get your 1099s and some of your tax statements in, and you organize that to get to your CPA. But that is direct ownership, or they call it fee simple title, the real estate, where you can mortgage it, you can sell it, you can do what you want with it. It's yours. I'm pretty sure there are other ways to invest in real estate, but I wanted to highlight those because as you think about it, there's just not one way to do it. Consider one of these, and we hope you reach out to us at the Peak Group if the last one, if fee simple, is something that you're thinking about. Thanks.